Hi, and welcome to my channel. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. It's free and it will ensure you won't miss any future videos. This video was suggested by one of my subscribers wondering how I made my scale molds. So I'm going to show you how I do that and how I do my seam repair. To make my scale molds, I use Sil Putty. It's a two-part silicone. I believe it's still available through Van Dyke Supply, although I would think there's a number of different silicones out there that would work equally well. This stuff's a lot like the silly putty I used to play with when I was a child. I've accumulated quite a selection of these scale molds over the years. This is for a 25-inch bass. A lot of different size scales for different applications. To make a mold, you take equal parts of A and B and you mix them together thoroughly. Mix them together thoroughly till it's all a uniform color. To make the mold, I just grabbed an extra fish blank I had laying around, and I'm going to make a repair on this top seam. So I want the scales close to that size. So I just simply press my Sil Putty into the neighboring scales. So this is our scale mold all done. We just let this set up overnight, and tomorrow we'll be able to fix this seam. Now the mold is all cured, ready to take off. One little trick I like to do is come in with a Sharpie, put an arrow to the front. That way when it's inverted and you can't see the scales, you know which direction the scales are to be. Now we just take this off. And there's our scale pattern. Now to do my seam repair, I take my epoxy sculpt, I mix equal parts together. Now I simply lay down a band of my epoxy sculpt and smooth it with my finger. Helps to have your finger wet. And work it out until you have a nice feathered edge. And of course, the better job you do at this, the less visible your seam will be in the end. Now we have this blended pretty good. Just going to take a damp paper towel, give a little texture to the top of the head where there are no scales. Then I take my scale mold, I to wet it a little bit. And my arrow, so I know the direction facing front, I simply put it on my repair, run my thumb over it, and that should give you a nice impression of the scales. And just like that, the repair to the back of this fish is done. It's really pretty amazing what you can do with these little molds. A while back, I was working on my wife's previous personal best largemouth. Halfway through the process, we decided we wanted it facing a different direction. This was after we already had 2 screw holes in the back, which would now become the front. And I wasn't sure exactly how to deal with that, so I made pretty much the same repair, and I'll follow this up with a couple pictures of how it came out. I think it came out remarkably well.